Have you ever wanted to make these big wobbly circles from 1958's The Blob starring Steve McQueen's opening title sequence? I thought so. Hi, I'm Marcho. I'm a freelance motion designer, and this is my very first YouTube channel. Tips, tricks, tutorials, just explaining the ins and outs of motion design as I know it. I've got an old school one for you today. The first The Blob movie, and while it is very scary, you can watch just the opening title sequence and have a non-scary time. So let's recreate some of these wobble wobble psychedelic blobbles, and then we can also talk about the music, which is guaranteed going to be in your head for years. Let's get into After Effects. Okay, here we are in a blank project in After Effects. The first thing we want to do is make a new composition to put our circles in. So why don't we name it circles? Let's go 2500 and then square it off. 24 frames a second, minute long, that's all fine. Okay, so the first thing we need in our circle comp is a circle. So let's get our ellipse tool and draw a rough circle, seriously, because we want it to be all blobby by the end of this anyway. So let's go to the size, and out at around 30 seconds, I want to add a keyframe, increase this until it's just off of the edge of our comp here. Come back to the beginning of my timeline and zero this out. So now we have, wow, that's slow, but that's what we're recreating. So according to our reference, this needs to be wobbly, right? Let's take a turbulent displace and put it right on our circle. And that is pretty close. I'm gonna bump up the amount a little bit. 65 is fine. I am leaving the rest of the settings alone. The size, offset, complexity, those all work well for what we're going for. But we are going to animate the evolution, because right now, let's get it right here. When we play this, the displacement is moving about as slowly as our size is. So I want to boost that with an expression. If I alt-click on the stopwatch of evolution, it'll take me to the expression field here, and I'm going to put in time times 100. It's going to really make it move. So now if we hit play, you can see that we're doing some organic, like amoeba-like behavior, which is perfect. How about we add an echo effect? I'm going to set the number of echoes to 20, and I'm only going to change the echo time. Right now it's really fast, and so I'm going to set it to -2.5. So each time an echo starts, it'll be every 2.5 seconds, the echo will start back at the beginning of the animation. Hey, now we're cooking. Yep, that is exactly what I'm going for. So let's call a circle a circle. And let's put this behind some stuff. So I need another composition, and I'm gonna make this HD, so 16:9 render. And then I'm gonna set that to 1920 by 1080, which is regular HD, 24 frames a second, great, minute long, great. I'm gonna drag in my circle comp. I'm just gonna kind of play around in the middle of the comp here for a while. We need a title for this title sequence, so let's go to Layer, New, Text, and let's put in something really cool. How about the dork? big dork energy. So this is a font called Vampire Bride that I got from dafont.com, which is an amazing place, along with Font Squirrel. Let's duplicate these circles a couple of times. I'm going to offset these in time. And then I am going to take one of these and I'm going to hit T and back it down to like a third opacity. I'm going to take another one of these and I'm going to change the color. So I'll add a tint effect and I will map black to some gross dark yellow goldenrod, something like that. It kind of looks like the title, maybe a little more orange than that. Cool. But it's a little too prominent, a little too thick, so I'm actually just going to scale this down. And we have that room to play with it. Rotate these extra circle compositions so that they aren't doing the exact same turbulent displacement. I'm going to rotate that one that way, and I'm going to rotate this one this way. Okay, now we really have a movie title. So about here, right when this yellow one really starts to come in, I'm gonna fade in my text layer. So bring the layer here and hit T for opacity. I'm going to keyframe this, set it to 0, go about a second into the future. Set that to 100, automatically puts my fade in keyframe there. I'm going to solo this for a second while we work on it. Looks like a fade in. That's great. But we want that flickering glow behind it. So let's just grab a glow. All right. Not seeing much yet. If we increase our glow intensity, I'm going to go to 2.5 and we increase our glow radius. That is much more like the shape of what we're going for, but we're not getting the color. So let's change our A and B colors down here. We just need to do the A color. Let's change that to our red. Nothing happened. That's because the glow is based on the color channels. So the white of my text color is dictating what the glow color is going to be. If we change that to alpha channel, we can control what the color is independent of what our source text or whatever we're making glow. So now we have this kind of devilish red glow, which is beautiful. And I just want to see that in context real quick. Oh, so perfect. In the source material, the title is knocked out in black while this glow flickers, while it's fading on. So I'm going to do that by changing my text color to black. My text just disappeared. I can still see it. It exists. So instead of behind, we want to composite our original on top. And now we have it. So to get that flicker on this glow, we're going to depend on our old friend Wiggle. If I alt-click the stopwatch next to glow intensity, we can put in a Wiggle 10, 1. Solo this layer for a second. It looks great. It looks really great. So now we have title text, wiggly circles. I think we are really cooking with gas. Let's make this look a little bit more old school. Add a couple of adjustment layers. Layer, new, adjustment layer. Let's call this blur and noise. Noise. And Gaussian blur works for what I'm trying to do. Let's go up to 5 on that. Just the regular noise. Let's go up to 10% on that. Okay. That looks really noisy and blurry, which is great. But there's an issue here because we have great noise on all of our content, like this blur and this glow that comes out to here. But in this deeper black, there's no color information for the noise to sit on. So I'm going to add a solid, and we'll call this background. We'll just make a black solid. Take this to the bottom. Now we have noise across the entire composition. Okay, we did not make our animation of our rings look stop motion, stilted. So let's add another adjustment layer. And I'm gonna put this just over the circles. And let's call it posterize time, because the circles are the only like hand animated part of this. Let's bring that posterize time effect on there. I'm gonna cut this way back. I'm gonna go right past 12 frames a second and make it 8 frames a second. Okay. Now this is gonna work great. I'm gonna render it out and let's check it. And there you have it.
Blob Fact.
The Blob by The Five Blobs was co-written by Burt Bacharach, and it was his first big hit. If you liked this tutorial, please like the video. If you end up making any squishy, squashy, floppy blobs, I'd love to see them. So show them to me and tell me about them in the comments. Subscribe for more tutorials like this, and I will see you in the next one.